a big, huge whistleblower that came out at the end of 2020, Chaim Eshed, who was the retired Israeli space chief, who wrote a book, Universe and Beyond, which came out after he became a whistleblower and told the main newspaper, Yedidot Achronot, which is kind of like the equivalent to the New York Times here in Israel, that the United States and Israel were in working agreements with the Galactic Federation on Earth, and that President Trump knew about it, that they were sharing astronauts and bases on Mars. Okay, so that should connect some dots to
Were you able to read that book because you lived in Israel, right? So you could probably read Hebrew.
Yes. Well, I mean, some of it is very sort of like astrophysics, because he was a physicist, he was a professor. But what I did was I extracted the parts about the UFO crashes, because he lists all these crashes. There's like about 13 of them all around the world, including the Magenta, Italy crash that we heard about from David Grush in July of 23. That was in his book. And other ones as well in Israel and in Russia. And there were beings that were retrieved from these crashes. And in one incident, they were human, not gray aliens. They were human beings. And he wrote that there were oxygen apparatus attached to them.
The Italy one, David Grush was saying in his News Nation interview that was the first time the U.S. ended up getting a crash retrieval, because they eventually got their hands on that Italy crash, right?
Well, I think they share stuff, but according to what Eshed said, was the Germans came and collected all the material from Italy, because it was 1933, I believe, or 32 or 33. So the Germans were very involved in that, and that was, became very competitive for them to get this technology and reverse engineer it. So when Chaim Eshed said this in 2020, I took notice, because there's another corroborative story about the people on Mars.
Right. And this is Chaim Eshed, if anyone hasn't seen him before. He was also a brigadier general, and I guess he's 92 now.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's at the end of his run, and he's very accomplished. One thing that Paul Hellyer told me when I interviewed Paul Hellyer, this was before the Chaim Eshed book came out, he talked about the Galactic Federation that Chaim also talked about. And there's some people that talk about a different Galactic Federation.
Yes. Yes. And I wanted to make a point of that. I'm so glad you brought that up, Devin. So you hear of people talk about the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the Galactic Federation of Light. Okay. He very specifically used the words, the Galactic Federation on Earth. Okay. So I find that a discernment, because these are beings that are based and live and coexist within the earth with us. And they're the ones that they're working with. Okay. And in my opinion, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they're also the ones that are showing up at these nuclear facilities and shutting down or thwarting our nuclear capabilities and technologies. I'm sure you've heard all those stories too.
What did Chaim Eshed specifically say about Donald Trump in the book, from what you were able to gather?
Oh, well, this was also published in the newspaper at the end of November of 20, Yedidot Achronot. He basically said that about the Galactic Federation on Earth, the agreements, and Donald Trump knew about it. I mean, he didn't go into what he knew. He just said he knew about that. He knew about the agreements, between the United States and Israel were in working agreements with the Galactic Federation on Earth, but the Galactic Federation on Earth said that we humans, or the surface humans, were not ready yet for them to be revealed to us, for them to know about us. But they didn't say why.